Hey, what's up? Yin here, and today I'd like to talk about this FiiO FW3. It is a single dynamic driver true wireless earbuds. The retail price for this is $100 and it is available on FiiO's website. So if you are interested, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. So in this video, I'm going to go through the accessories, design, build quality, fit and comfort, some features, my personal experience using this, and of course my sound impression of this FW3. Now this video will have time chapters, so if you guys are interested in the different chapters, please feel free to skip around. Alright, so let's start off with the specifications. Actually, it doesn't say much on the box itself, but the Bluetooth chip on this is the QCC5141, and the codec that it supports is the LDAC, LHDC, aptX Adaptive, aptX HD, AAC, and SBC. So yeah, it's pretty high resolution codecs, and also if you have a device that supports Snapdragon sound, this one will support that as well. So as for the sound chips in here, you've got the DAC chip, right? So the DAC chip is the AK4330 DAC chip, and the driver is a 10mm carbon diaphragm driver, dynamic driver, right? So pretty high resolution setup here. Now in terms of the battery will last about 7 hours on the earbuds, and in total together with the case it will last about 21 hours. Okay, and yeah, so basically in a nutshell, this is a high res true wireless earbuds. Okay, so that's for the specs. Now as for the accessories, it comes in this box here. Alright, inside you'll find a user guide, USB-C charging cable, and some ear tips. There are two types of ear tips. One is the narrow bore and one is the normal bore. The normal bore one, the flange is a little bit softer and thinner, and on the inner core is quite stiff. Alright, it's quite hard as well. So this is more for treble. As for the narrow bore one, is more for bass, and the flange is a little bit stiffer, and the inner bore is a little bit softer. So this one will give you a bit more resonance. So yeah, if you want bass, use the narrow bore ones, and you want treble, use the wider bore ones. Okay, so that's for the ear tips and the accessories. Let me just put them one side. And this is the case of the FW3 itself. It's made of plastic. It's finished off with like a satin silver finish, and yeah, it's pretty smooth, and it's quite palmable and pocketable as well. I've been putting this in my pocket. At the front here, you do get the battery indicator LED, and at the back here you got the charging port, and the hinge is actually pretty nice and soft. Okay, and inside you'll find the earbuds. Earbud sits in this well here. It's pretty easy to remove. The magnet on this is actually pretty light, so if you shake it just with a bit more strength, it will come out. Okay, like so. So the magnet is not a very strong magnet. Okay, so just make sure your cover or the lid closes properly. And this is the earbuds themselves. Earbuds actually is pretty good, and the best feature I like about this earbud is the physical buttons on top here. The front facing grill is actually not a real grill, but the design is like some sort of a very futuristic design. And then on the inner shell, you do get quite a nice chunky inner core here, which actually sits into my ear very well. Okay, and then you got your charging ports here, and the nozzle is quite wide with perforated filter. So overall, the design on this is actually pretty nice. I would say is yeah, as I mentioned, the feature on this which I like is the physical buttons lah. There's no more accidental touches or anything like that when I'm handling these earbuds. Okay, now in terms of fit and comfort, they fit me very well. Goes into my ear. It's quite a big chunky earbud. It sticks out a little bit up to this point. Okay, but it does not press against my ear or anything like that. So when I put it in, I twist, it locks onto my ear. Obviously I won't be able to do any exercises with this because there's no ear hooks or anything like that to secure this earbud to my ear with any extreme sports or like things like that. But if you're just normal walking and jogging, maybe this will still stay in your ears, right? So yeah, very comfortable fit, no physical fatigue when wearing this, and the seal that it gives me is also very good with the stock ear tips, so no complaints on that. One thing about this is that it does not have any noise cancelling or ambient sound. So by nature, once you plug this into your ear, this will give you a natural cut off from your ambient sound. So it's actually pretty good. Alright, so that's for the fit and comfort and seal. Let's talk about the features of this. I think in terms of features, the main feature that stands out to me is actually the physical button, and in terms of the software features, it's actually the codecs, and the hardware is the set of chips that is being built into this. So in terms of the hardware, the chip in this is the DAC chip, right? It's the AK4332, and the codecs on this is the high resolution codecs, which is LHDC, which supports high resolution audio, and LDAC as well. So but that's only for Android phones. If you're using iOS, then you won't be able to enjoy the high resolution feature of this. But then the driver on this is also pretty good. The driver is a 10mm carbon diaphragm driver, and the DAC chip on this is the 4332, which it's actually a pretty well-known DAC chip on the in the market. Now the DAC chip on this is actually a pretty neutral, natural sounding DAC chip, and overall sound stage on this, on the DAC, is very, very good. And the performance of the DAC chip is actually a pretty good performing DAC chip. So that's the feature of this. Now let's talk about the overall experience using this. So I've been using this for gaming, watching movies, making phone calls, and of course listening to my music. The feature that I like, or the most often activity that I do with this, is listening to my music and making phone calls. So these are the two that I use mostly on these earbuds. Now making phone calls is actually the quality of the microphone. The quality of the microphone on this is actually very good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to record sound using the microphone of these earbuds, and then you guys be the judge. Okay, let me bring out my iPad. Alright, so as you can see, I brought out my iPad. So I'm gonna put these FW3 in my ear, and I'm gonna record a sound, and you guys have a listen to the quality of the microphone. Alright, so now whatever you are listening to is the sound coming out from the microphone of the FW3. How do you think I sound? So what I'm going to do now is to simulate a windy condition, and I'm going to turn on a fan that is next to me. Alright, so now my fan is on and I'm facing my fan, and this is simulate a windy condition. How do you think I sound? So I'm going to face my right ear to the fan, and this is how I sound like when the right earbud is facing the wind. How do you think I sound? Now I'm going to turn over and face my left ear to the fan. How do you think I sound? Alright, so that's the overall sound quality of the microphone of the FW3. Now let's switch back to the studio microphone. Alright, so that's the sound quality of the microphone of the FW3. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty good. I don't have any complaints on the other end when I'm talking to my friends, and also on meetings, right? I go to a lot of online meetings, and these work really well. And the connection of it is also very good. There's no drop calls or anything like that. So yeah, very, very, very good quality sound mic. Next I do is listening to music on this, of course, but let's talk about that later. But I also play games and watch movies on this. Now playing games on this, the best feature for me is actually the sound stage on this, and the imaging, and the sound separation. So these actually is the standout feature for me. But in terms of the lag and all that, I do see a bit of lag. I do hear a bit of lag, especially for gaming, but it's not very obvious, and I'm also a casual gamer, so it doesn't affect me much. I still can play my games very normally. The lag is well, not noticeable. But most important is the sound, the explosions, the footsteps, the gunshots and all that. When I play PUBG, when I play my Mobile Legends, the casting of spells, they actually sound really realistic, and the bass itself is helping the explosion to give me a more immersive experience. And the soundstage, I think soundstage is very important, and the sound separation and imaging as well. I can hear the direction where the spell is being cast, and the gunshots are coming from, footsteps coming from the back. I can hear sounds coming from the back, by the way, so this is actually pretty good soundstage. Yeah, so in terms of watching movies as well, the dialogues actually they sound pretty okay. It's just that I can notice a little bit of a mis-sync in terms of the lips when people are talking, like for example dramas and all that, especially if they are talking a little bit slower. I can hear a little bit, I can see a little bit of mis-sync. But other than that, if I'm watching like action movies and those comedies and all that, yeah, it's very immersive. The bass is really good, and the overall imaging and the sound separation, and the sound coming from the explosion coming from the left side, and the overall dialogues in front, people are talking, they sound really immersive. Something like a surround sound kind of thing. I'm like in the middle here, and the sound is coming from the back and from the front as well. So very immersive type of experience when I'm watching my movies. Okay, so watching movies on this is also pretty good and immersive. Now let's talk about sound. So I listen to my music mostly on this earbuds, and in terms of the sound quality, right, and the resolution that comes out from this is very, very high res. Okay, no doubt about that. I mean, that's different from the tuning of it, but in terms of the sound quality and the technical performance of this earbuds, is actually very, very good. So it is all like in the package, right? The Bluetooth codec is of good quality, the driver is of good quality, and also the DAC, which is the digital audio converter, is also of good quality. So with this overall package, I'm getting a very good quality sound. Okay, so that's for the technicalities. Now in terms of the soundstage, as I mentioned, even for the gaming, right, it's quite immersive, right, and the imaging of it is actually very good. Sound separation is also very good. I can identify where the gunshots are coming from. In fact, for listening to music, I can identify where the instruments are, right, from the left channel and the right channel, and it's quite noticeable, front and back as well. It's got good height as well in terms of the overall soundstage, and in terms of detail retrieval, it's also very detailed. Whatever nuances I can hear, it can be picked up. It's just that it's a little bit veiled, which I'll explain later. Okay, but yeah, it's a very detailed true wireless earbuds. And also resolution, again, this is true wireless earbuds. It's not an wired earphone. Definitely when I listen to wired earphones, it sounds more resolute, but for a true wireless earphone, comparing to other brands, this is a very, very resolute true wireless earphone. So yeah, very well performing and clean sounding true wireless earphone. Right, so that's for the technicalities. In terms of the tone and timbre, this one would give me a bit of a warmer, a fun, and casual listening experience. So yeah, this is a very casual listening experience, very casual sounding earbud. Okay, and for the sound signature, let me just bring out my iPad. All right, so this is the sound signature of this FiiO FW3. I would just categorize this as quite a linear type of sound signature. Is kind of flat, right? In fact, for the treble as well, because treble you need to have a bit more presence of the treble in your overall listening experience. I mean, for us human ears, we hear treble, we are more sensitive to treble. Okay, but over here you don't get a lot of bass, but trust me, by looking at this graph, it's quite deceiving. Okay, but I do get a lot of bass on this earbuds. So overall, the sub bass is actually pretty extended, and it's got good presence and good note weight as well. It's more of a fun and well, I would say immersive type of sub bass, and the rumble is quite firm and quite heavy and colored and textured type of sub bass. The rumble is very, very strong as compared to the treble, right? So yeah, it's a very good rumble. And then as for the mid bass, is a very, very thumpy and very impactful mid bass. So if you listen to a lot of pop songs, heavy metal, techno maybe, yeah, you get a lot of thump, a lot of impact, and it's warm, it's heavy, it's very colored, and very immersive as well. Okay, so that's for the mid bass. Now for the mids is present, but at the same time veiled. Okay, I'll try to explain it in more of a layman way. Basically, you can hear it very clearly, but it's just that it sounds distant away. Yeah, the clarity is there, but the overall presence of it and the energy of it is a bit laid back. Okay, so yeah, instruments, pianos, they sound really great on this, but violins and flutes, trumpets, they sound a little bit laid back and a little bit behind the instruments, something like that. Okay, so that's what I hear. Okay, but overall for the mids is pretty okay, good presentation. It's just that it's not as energetic and not as bitey as some other true wireless earbuds are. Okay, as for vocals, male vocals, they sound great on this. They've got good authority, good presence, very engaging as well. It's warm, it's heavy, and emotionally I get some connection on some of my tracks. And very good as well, yeah. But for female vocals, they sound a little bit laid back. For female vocals, I don't have that engagement, that energy that I would expect from female vocals, and they lack a bit of that brightness as well. I mean, they are bright, but not as bright as some other true wireless earbuds. But yeah, I think it's the presence lah. They sound clear. Don't get me wrong, they sound clear, but it's just that they are not as present. Okay, so I would prefer to listen to male vocals on these true wireless earbuds. Okay, let's talk about the treble. Treble, is a very smooth treble. Okay, if you look at the pinna gain, the upper mids here, it glides across. It does not gain up. So over here, this is where your mids, right? They will have that initial gain, the pinna gain to your ear, and give you that so-called loudness, okay, and the forwardness of your overall listening experience. So this overall listening experience is not a very forward type of listening experience, and overall it's actually the presentation of it is very smooth. Okay, it's a very smooth listening experience, so you can be guaranteed there is no harshness on this true wireless earbuds. You can listen to anything that is very shrilly and very loud, and overall you will not get any pain or any fatigue when you're listening to your tracks. Okay, so very smooth, sort of a transition from the pinna gain to the treble. Okay, the presence is there, right? The presence of the treble is there. Very good presence, but it's just that it's not as energetic, right? It's bright but not energetic, and the overall trail off of the treble is quite natural. Very good air as well, as I mentioned, and this actually contributes to the overall soundstage of the airiness of the soundstage. Okay, and yeah, I liked the airiness of this treble. Treble is pretty good. All right, so that's the overall sound signature of this FW3. I would say this is more suitable for pop songs, casual listening, and anything that is non-critical listening. Basically, you just want to go out, and listen to your music while you're doing something else. Yeah, enjoying your music while traveling. This is actually a very good one, and also playing games as well, very immersive. But for me, I listen to this mostly on my music. I listen to music mostly on this, and yeah, more for casual. So when I'm out, I'm shopping or doing some chores, I'll plop this into my ear and just play my pop songs, and more of a casual, by the side type of songs. Okay. Now, in terms of my conclusion, I would say, in terms of quality, the sound quality, this produces a very, very high sound quality. and for that price to performance, definitely it does perform well above that $100. Okay, so the next thing is sound tuning, right? There's a lot of different tuning. Obviously you can EQ this, but I'm talking about the stock tuning of this. Is very niche, right, in terms of the tuning of this true wireless earbuds. It's not for everyone. For people who wants more energy and more bite to their tracks that they're listening to, especially cymbal strikes and hi-hats when they crash the cymbals. They want a bit more presence and a bit more response from the treble. Then this tuning may not be for you. But for the other side of the coin, if you are sensitive to treble and you just want to have a smooth, non-fatiguing listening experience, then this tuning is definitely for you. It's got good bass presence and good mids presence as well, but not much of a forwardness to the treble, right? So very good for those who are sensitive to treble, but for people who like me, right, I like a little bit more bite to my treble, a bit more presence to my treble. This is actually, well, not really to my taste, but I still listen to this because of the quality of the sound that was being produced to me. So I listen to certain genre of music only on this true wireless earbuds. Alright, so that concludes my overall listening experience and review of this true wireless earbuds, the FiiO FW3. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.